Okay. Good evening, beautiful goddesses. We're trying this again. I do not know why some of our streaming services are not coming on right now, but we're just going to have to live with that for this evening. Um, I'd really like to get started on our beautiful program for tonight and welcome all you lovely goddesses. Welcome home, those of you who have been here with us before. And welcome, welcome, welcome to those goddesses joining us for the first time. I am Dee Savoie, the Goddess Whisperer, and I want to welcome you to Wednesday Wisdom. Um, if this is your first time joining us, I hope it won't be your last. Now, our July journey has been all about sacred self-expression. We've covered your voice is sacred, expressing the woman you have become. And this week, we're asking one powerful question. What would you create if you stopped waiting for permission? Tonight isn't about becoming someone new, it's about remembering that no one has ever held the authority to approve your purpose. And I'm going to say that again. No one else holds the permission slip for you to be exactly who you are. Well, maybe one person does, and that's you. So let's take a nice slow breath. As we do, place the left hand on the heart, the right hand on the womb. Close your eyes and repeat after me. I open myself to divine wisdom. I release every voice that is louder than my own. I remember who I was before fear. I trust what wants to be born through me. I am willing to allow it to be born. And so it is. Okay. So check. All right. Now my microphone decided it can't work anymore. Very interesting. So I'm going to repeat what I just said, just for those who might not have heard it. Because now my microphone. Tonight, the Mercury retrograde is definitely retrograding. So, as I said, we're going to put one hand on our heart, one hand on our womb, and let's repeat our opening invocation, which is I open myself to divine wisdom. I release every voice that is louder than my own. I remember who I was before fear. I trust what wants to be born through me, and I am willing to let it be born. And so it is. So, we're going to start with just a little bit of a meditation. And I want you to imagine yourself walking through an ancient temple. And close your eyes, keep them open, whatever suits you. You know, remember when we're doing things in the feminine dimension, it's always about what suits you, what calls to you, and not about what you should or what you must do. So here you are in this beautiful temple. There's no people, there's no audience, there are no critics, there are no family expectations, no social media, no comparison, only silence. And in the center of the temple sits a beautiful golden chair. And seated on that beautiful chair is you. Not the version who performs, not the version who apologizes, not the version who asks for approval. The woman who has always known who you are. Walk toward her and ask her one question. What have you been waiting to create? Listen to her. Do not judge what she says. Simply receive. Allow whatever she says to find its place somewhere in your body where it feels at home, where it feels like wisdom, where it feels like self-knowledge. And whenever you feel called to, come back. Return gently into the here and now. And here, let's talk a little bit about how we stifle ourselves from being fully the women that we desire to be. Many women don't struggle with talent, they struggle with permission. Permission to charge for their work, permission to rest when they need it, permission to be visible when they want to be seen, permission to disappoint people, permission to change, permission to outgrow old identities. We often believe someone will eventually come and say, "Here, you're ready now. Go do it." But that moment rarely arrives because when we think about it, permission really isn't given. Permission is claimed and is claimed through action. But sometimes we're still waiting. We're waiting for the degree we think we're supposed to have, the certification we're supposed to get, the money we're supposed to have set aside, the confidence we're supposed to magic up from somewhere, the more followers on social media or wherever, right? To have the perfect website, the perfect body, the perfect timing, the perfect knowledge. Yet purpose has never required perfection. Creation is always about showing up with courage. Okay? Whew. Courage is more important than anything else when it comes to creating what it is you desire in your life. So, for our goddess story this week, I want to talk to you about Seisha. She's who we talked about in on our Monday meeting of Awaken Her. I mean, want to awaken that Seisha in ourselves. Seisha is the goddess of writing, of record keeping, of creativity in the Egyptian pantheon. And she's one of my favorite goddesses, especially because her being known for writing, right? She's also the goddess of architecture. So that means talking about creating structures, okay, of measurement. And she doesn't simply record history. She helped create civilization by preserving knowledge, measuring temples, and documenting what mattered. And she teaches us something profound. You do not wait until your work is perfect before you write it. You begin. One word, one line, one idea, one brick, one sacred step. Creation becomes clear while you are creating, not before. And I remember in some of my creativity classes that I've taken, I cannot remember the sculptors, which sculpture it was right now, but he said that he was not creating anything. He was finding the sculpture that was in the clay already, and he was just uncovering it. So if he had never started to chisel away at that big block of clay, he would have never found the treasure underneath. It was in the doing that he found what he was supposed to be creating. And I think that's exactly how it is for most of us. We can plan or plot or write down instructions for ourselves or, you know, make arrangements, but it's only when we actually start to do the work that what we're supposed to be doing becomes clear, and we can gain more confidence in who we are and what we're creating, but not before. Not before. It doesn't happen then. So when we think about creating whatever we're destined to create in our life, and not just um, artistically, but our businesses, our lives, our relationships with one another, these two we work on creating. They don't just happen. We work on making them what they are. So whenever we're faced with something that we wish to create for ourselves, we just have to start. There's no such thing as being perfectly ready. And I know that they say that we women tend to wait, say, when we're either trying to advance or applying for a new job or whatever, that if we don't have 100% of the skills that employer is looking for, we don't even bother to apply because we are expecting, we're waiting for the permission to do so. And that is by having everything that this employer could possibly want before we even try to make that step forward. And that's something that we as women really need to let go of. We don't have to be perfect. We don't have to be perfectly ready. We don't have to know everything that there is to know about what we want to set forward in our lives. We just have to start. Here's my womb whisper from my womb to your womb. And your womb does not ask permission. Seeds do not ask permission. Flowers do not ask permission. The moon never asks permission to become full. Nature simply follows its design. And perhaps your deepest suffering comes from resisting yours. So, what is it that you are supposed to be creating in your life right now that you are saying no to, that you are hesitating about, that you are pushing aside, that you are waiting to be perfectly ready for, that really needs to be born in you right now? Now, I want you to think about this. Who was it that told you you needed to ask permission? Was it your parents who always wanted you to ask before you could do anything? Was it going to school and always having to raise your hand in order to give an answer or to even ask a question? Was it work where somewhere where you had a boss who was always controlling even just the information that flowed within the office space? Where is it that you learned to ask for permission, that you needed it in order to move forward, instead of taking the reins and doing what you wanted to do? Okay. And then think about, what could you create if criticism no longer frightens you? Because I think that's one of the things that reasons why we ask for permission. That's one of the things that holds us back and makes us want to ask for permission, because we fear that criticism, that rebuttal or rebuffing. You didn't ask for permission to do this, whatever it is in your life. And so therefore there must be a punishment for that, right? Because Wasn't there a punishment when you raised your hand in class, or you didn't raise your hand in class and just blurted out the answer? Aren't there punishments throughout life for taking up the reins yourself, especially as a young person, and doing what you want to do as opposed to following the directions of others? So, uh, seizing your own permission does not come without risk. But what's more important, being and doing what you want or worrying about what other people are going to think, whoever those people are. And then ask yourself again, what is one courageous action you can take this week? And then do it. Okay. And then I want you to, and I don't know where my piece of paper went, but I got a little book here. And I'm going to do it for myself. And I'm going to take one piece of paper from my book right here in the middle. It's not perfect, and I don't care. And I'm going to, hold on 1 second. I don't know why this is here. 1 second. And I'm going to write myself an official permission slip. Here's my official, I don't know if you see it, permission slip. Here we go. And I'm going to say, I give myself permission to, and I'm going to make a blank. And it can be something like, I give myself permission to speak what I want to say. I give myself permission to create whatever I want. I give myself permission to rest when I need it. I give myself permission to earn more money than somebody else who might be jealous of that. I give myself permission to lead other people to where I think I can help them. I give myself permission to be visible, to change, to outgrow old thought patterns or ways of being. I give myself permission to receive. How many of us need that? I give myself permission to receive. I give myself permission to take up space. And once you have done all that, you're going to sign it and date it and fold it. So I'm going to give myself permission to, I'm not going to tell you what I'm giving myself permission to do because each of us has to pick for ourselves. I don't want to influence anybody else, but think of what do you give yourself permission to do? And I want you to take your permission slip and fold it 3 times toward yourself. 1, 2, here's the second one, 3, okay. And now you're going to take your permission slip. And the reason why you fold it toward yourself is because this is what you want to bring in for yourself. If we were talking about things we want to get rid of, we might fold them away from ourselves because we don't want that. And I want you to take this note that you've written to yourself, your permission slip, and I want you to place it someplace important. If you have an altar, put it on your altar. If you have a meditation space, put in your meditation space. If you have a place where you just have a whole bunch of crystals together, put it with your crystals so they can charge up the permission that you have given yourself. Okay? But it is time today to claim your authority and your sovereignty over your own life. And that's what we're doing here with our permission slip to be who we are. So let's close our eyes again for just a minute. Just relax. Be aware of any tension in your body. You don't necessarily have to try to get rid of it, but just note it. Anywhere that you might still feel tension in your body, you can breathe into that area. And for a moment, just imagine yourself standing before a more enormous golden gates. Think of something like if you're a Lord of the Rings person, think of that beautiful door that they stood in front of. And across the top of that beautiful door, golden door, it says, "The life you came here to create." We all came here with a mission and a plan and a purpose and a life that we were destined to live. Okay? But sometimes we forget that. Or we think somebody else holds the key to explaining to us or showing us or demonstrating to us what life we're supposed to have. Maybe a teacher or a partner or a parent, right? A client or a spiritual leader, right? But when you get to those golden gates, you notice there is no lock. There is nothing keeping you out. There is no key that is needed to open the gates to the life that you came here to create. There's nothing stopping you, only your own limiting beliefs about your own worth, about your own promise, about your own destiny, about your own worth. Okay? And with the gentlest of pushes, the gates swing wide open. And inside these gates are every dream you've ever postponed. Maybe it was the book you wanted to write, the business you wanted to start, the art you wanted to create, the love you craved, the healing you needed, the laughter you wanted, the freedom. Every possibility smiles back at you. And a radiant golden light surrounds your body. Feel it settling into your throat, your heart, your womb, your third eye, and your crown, all the way down to your toes. And remind yourself, you were never waiting for permission. You were waiting to trust yourself. Take a deep breath in, hold it a moment, and then expel it. And put both hands on your heart again. And say to yourself, I choose myself. I choose my dreams. I choose my desires. I choose the life I came here to create. And now slowly return. I'm really feeling that. So this week is your weekly assignment. I'm asking you to choose one thing you've been postponing because you didn't feel ready, because you were sitting there waiting for permission to do the thing you know that you really wanted to do. So here's what I want you to do. I don't want you to plan it or make it perfect or make it a big to-do, but simply begin. Send the email or write the first page of the book, record the video, offer the workshop, paint the canvas, register the business. Whatever your soul has been whispering to you, honor it with action, because action will bring the clarity that you are missing to your purpose. And that is the truth of it. We start out with an idea of vision, but no vision can compete with the reality you create once you start actually working on what you desire. So, as a closing blessing, I say to you, may you remember that the Creator who imagined galaxies and stardust and the entire universe also imagined you. May you trust the wisdom already alive within your body. May your voice become stronger than your fear. May your creations become offerings instead of performances. May you stop asking the world for permission to become who heaven and the goddesses have already declared you to be. So go now, not seeking approval, but expressing your truth, not waiting, but creating, not hiding, but radiating. And until we gather again, remember to awaken, to heal, to embody, and to radiate. And never forget, the world doesn't need another copy of somebody else. The world needs you, the authentic you, the you came here to be. And that's the you that I want to hear from in these comments. If you have seen this video and you appreciate what's been said here, just type in the comments, I am ready to radiate. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, and I will see you next time. Love you. Bye bye.